Before we begin, take a moment and let the title speak to your heart. Your son is about to receive a miracle in 10 minutes. Don't ignore this. You didn't click this by accident. Something inside you felt a pull, a quiet whisper that said, "Listen." Not because time is literally being counted down, but because there is a sense of urgency, a sense of divine timing, a moment where your heart is finally ready to receive what God has been trying to tell you. This message isn't here to frighten you. It is here to reassure, uplift, comfort, and strengthen you as a parent whose heart has carried more weight than most people will ever understand. God sees the burdens you carry for your son, the quiet fears, the spoken prayers, the restless nights where you wondered if things would ever truly change. He knows the moments you looked at your child and thought, "He deserves so much more. He was created for so much more. Why is life fighting him this hard?" Every parent reaches a place where love becomes intercession, where caring becomes praying, and where worry becomes a plea for God's guidance. Today's message is meant to remind you that your efforts are not unseen, your tears are not wasted, and your hopes are not foolish. There are seasons when it feels like everything pauses, like heaven becomes silent. But God's silence is not absence, it is preparation. Right now, God wants you to slow down, quiet your mind, and listen. Not because a literal 10-minute countdown is ticking, but because you are standing inside a window of clarity, a moment where your heart can finally hear what your stress has been drowning out. You are here because you are ready to receive a word that brings direction, strength, and peace concerning your son. God is saying, "I have seen your heart. I have seen the love that makes you fight for your child even when you are exhausted. I have seen the moments you wanted to give up but couldn't, because your son is a part of your soul. And I want you to know, I am with you." This message is not a prophecy of danger, fear, or disaster. It is not a threat of something bad coming. No, this is a message of reassurance, a reminder that your son is not walking through life alone. Even in moments where he seemed distant, confused, frustrated, or overwhelmed, God was never absent. Even when you didn't know how to guide him, God was gently guiding his steps through situations you may never fully know about. There are times when parents feel powerless, especially when their children carry struggles they cannot openly express. Every worry you've ever felt, every what if, every "why is he going through this?" every "how do I help him?" God has heard all of it. And today God wants to shift the atmosphere around your heart. This is the moment where you allow peace to enter the places where fear has been living. This is the moment where you choose to believe not in predictions or pressure, but in God's ability to guide, strengthen, and protect your child in ways no human parent ever could. God is not promising instant transformation, nor is he counting down minutes on a literal clock. Instead, he is calling your attention to the fact that this moment right now, the moment you are listening, is the beginning of a change in perspective, in hope, and in spiritual confidence. Because miracles don't always happen as sudden supernatural events. Sometimes the greatest miracle is the shift that happens inside a parent's heart. The shift from fear to faith, from panic to trust, from confusion to calm. God is reminding you that your son's journey has meaning, even if the path has been messy. There are lessons being shaped in him, resilience being built, strength being formed, and wisdom being molded. Nothing he faces is wasted. Nothing he has struggled through is pointless. Every season of life prepares the next one, just like every night prepares the dawn that follows it. You have watched your son's battles. You have felt his pain as if it were your own. You have lifted him up in prayer when he couldn't lift himself. And now God wants you to breathe, to rest, to release the pressure you've been holding inside your chest. Because parenting was never meant to be a journey you walk alone. It was always meant to be a partnership between your heart and God's hands. Your son may not always show it, but he is growing. He is learning. He is maturing. He is becoming stronger in ways that will surprise you. Some of his breakthroughs will come quietly, almost unnoticed. Some will come suddenly, in ways that make you smile with relief. But all of them will come through a combination of God's guidance, your support, and His own inner strength. Today's message is meant to be a turning point, not in the world around him, but in the world inside you. Instead of imagining the worst, God is calling you to expect better. Instead of replaying old fears, God is encouraging you to embrace new confidence. Instead of carrying every weight alone, God is inviting you to share the load with Him. Breathe, exhale. Let the heaviness soften. God is walking with you. God is walking with your son, and God is not finished with His story. What you will witness in the days ahead, not necessarily in 10 literal minutes, but in a season that begins now, is clarity, strength, direction, and peace slowly forming around your son's life. Not suddenly, not magically, but intentionally and steadily. You will see him make wiser choices. You will see him stand taller in his identity. You will see doors open that once seemed locked. You will see him overcoming challenges with new strength. You will see him carrying a confidence that was once hidden inside him. And as these changes unfold, you will understand that the true miracle was God working quietly behind the scenes all along. Your son is not lost. Your prayers are not forgotten. Your hope is not wasted. And your family's story is still being written, beautifully, lovingly, intentionally. This is your moment to breathe again and trust that God is already moving. Now that your heart has settled into the message, listen closely, because God wants to take you deeper. There is something He needs you to understand about your son, something sacred, something powerful, something that has been forming beneath the surface even when life felt confusing. The same God who calmed the storms, who opened the seas, who made the blind see, is whispering into your spirit right now, and He is saying, your son is stepping into a moment that will shift his path forward. This shift does not mean that everything will instantly change. It means that something is awakening inside him, something that will guide him toward clarity, strength, and purpose. You may have looked at him recently and wondered why he seemed distant or distracted, why he appeared tired, frustrated, or discouraged. What you saw on the outside did not reflect the spiritual growth happening inside him. Sometimes the greatest transformations begin quietly, almost unnoticed, until one day the change becomes impossible to ignore. God is working in ways that do not always look dramatic. Miracles are often gentle, subtle, like the first light of dawn touching the dark horizon. Before the sun rises, the world still looks shadowed. But the shift has already begun. That is exactly where your son is right now, standing at the edge of a breakthrough, even if everything around him still looks the same. God wants you to understand that your son has been fighting battles he couldn't fully express. Some were emotional, some were mental, some were spiritual. Some came from pressures he didn't know how to handle. Some came from fears he didn't know how to speak out loud. But none of those battles were bigger than God's grace, and none of them were hidden from God's sight. Every time your son felt weak, God was strengthening him. Every time he felt confused, God was guiding him. Every time he felt alone, God was standing right beside him. You may not have heard the cries of his heart, but God did. You may not have seen the quiet moments where he questioned himself, but God did. You may not have felt the weight he carried in silence, but God did. And it is because of this divine awareness that God is now stepping in to realign what has been misaligned, to restore what has been strained, and to revive what has been weakened. This is not a message of sudden disaster or spiritual fear. It is a message of divine intervention, a reminder that when God moves, He moves with purpose, precision, and perfect timing. There are seasons where God allows us to walk through challenges to grow resilient. But there are also seasons where God says, "Enough. Now I begin the healing." And this, right now, is that season for your son. God is saying, "Do not underestimate what I am doing behind the scenes. Do not measure progress by what your eyes see. My work begins in the unseen, but it never stays hidden for long." There is a new confidence rising inside your son. It may start small, like a spark, but it will grow into strength that he didn't even know he had. He will begin to think differently, act differently, choose differently. Wisdom will start guiding him in moments where confusion once dominated. Peace will begin settling into places where anxiety once lived, and clarity will begin replacing the fog that kept him uncertain. You will notice it in the way he speaks, in the way he carries himself, in the way he makes decisions, in the doors that begin to open around him. The miracle God is releasing is not only about protection, it is about direction. Your son is stepping into a guided season, a season where opportunities that once felt impossible will begin showing up with ease. God is aligning people, places, and timing so that he receives what he needs exactly when he needs it. God is also addressing the burdens in your heart. He knows how much you want to see your son safe, stable, successful, happy, and whole. He knows the nights you prayed quietly so he wouldn't hear you. He knows the thoughts that kept you awake, imagining futures you desperately wanted to avoid. And he is saying, "Rest. I am already in his tomorrow." You do not have to fear possibilities that have never happened. You do not have to replay past mistakes in your mind. You do not have to carry guilt for moments you could not control. God is taking the pressure off your shoulders and placing your focus on what is being built, not what was broken. Your son is not behind. He is not failing. He is not forgotten. He is not lost. He is evolving, and evolution takes time. In this next chapter, God will guide him through decisions that set the foundation for his future. These decisions will be clearer. They will be more grounded. They will align with his purpose instead of his fears. Even choices that once overwhelmed him will become easier as peace begins to lead him instead of uncertainty. You will also see relationships shift. Some connections that drained him will fade out naturally. People who pulled him in the wrong direction will lose influence over him, and new, healthier connections will emerge. God is surrounding him with individuals who carry wisdom, positivity, and stability. People who lift him up, not weigh him down. And as all this happens, something powerful will be happening inside you as well. You will notice a new peace settling inside your heart. Not a forced calm, but a genuine confidence that your son is covered, protected, and supported by God himself. You will no longer parent from panic. You will parent from peace. You will no longer watch with fear. You will watch with faith. God wants you to know that parenthood is not about controlling every outcome. It's about trusting that God is shaping every outcome with love and purpose. You are not raising your son alone. Heaven is partnering with you. Angels are assigned to him. God's hand is on him. The miracle you will witness is not only about what happens to your son, it is about what begins to happen through him. This transformation will ripple through his choices, relationships, ambitions, and entire future. God is already moving. The shift has already begun, and your son's story is nowhere near finished. It is just beginning. When you tapped on this video, it wasn't by accident. Something in the title pulled you, something whispered inside your heart, don't skip this. Your son needs this moment. And now, as we move into this next part, I want you to breathe, because what you are about to hear is meant to strengthen you, not frighten you. It is meant to remind you of the truth. You are not alone, and your child is not unprotected. There is a spiritual atmosphere around your son that you may not physically see right now. A tension between what is trying to break him and what is trying to build him. But listen carefully. In every struggle, every confusion, every wrong influence trying to circle around your son, God is placing a boundary, a shield, a wall that cannot be crossed without his permission. You need to understand this deeply. Your son is not an easy target. He is marked for purpose. There are people who misunderstand him, people who misjudge him, people who think they know his story when they've heard only fragments of rumors, assumptions, or twisted words. But hear this clearly. God sees the full story, the chapters people don't see, the tears you've never spoken about, the nights you've spent in worry, the prayers you've whispered in the dark. And right now, God is saying, take heart. What is meant against him will not stand. What is being spoken in secret will not become his destiny. Maybe your son has been distracted. Maybe he has been walking with the wrong crowd. Maybe he has drifted into silence, into frustration, into storms you don't fully understand. Maybe you've felt distance, fear, or confusion as a parent. But even in all of this, God has not removed his hand from your child. Your son is going through a season that feels heavy, strange, or unpredictable. But do not misread this season as abandonment. This is the season of awakening, a season where God is rearranging the path beneath your son's feet, even if it looks messy on the surface. You are not losing him. He is not slipping away. He is not forgotten. He is not out of reach. He is not beyond restoration. Right now, things may feel tense, like something is shifting behind scenes you cannot see. But this shift is not to harm him, it is to redirect him. God is breaking connections that were harmful. God is exposing influences that were hidden. God is revealing the true nature of the people around him, not to frighten you, but to prepare you, because soon your son will step into a different atmosphere, a calmer one, a clearer one, a safer one, a place where the noise around him quiets, and he finally begins to see what God has been protecting him from. Your prayers, the ones you thought were unnoticed, are the very reason he is still standing today. Nothing you have prayed has been wasted. Not one word, not one tear, not one moment of asking God, please protect him. God heard them all, and God is responding now. I want you to feel this in your spirit. Your son is covered. Your son is guarded. Your son is being guided in ways you cannot yet see. Some situations that look dangerous are already dissolving. Some conversations that were meant to harm his reputation are losing their influence. Some plans made behind closed doors are collapsing because God is interrupting them. You may not see all of this physically, but spiritually, it is already happening. There is a light rising over your son, a shift, a turning, a strengthening. And God wants you to know, you do not need to fear what you cannot see. You only need to trust the one who sees everything. Your son will not be separated from you. Your connection will not break. Your influence as a parent will not be stolen. Your love will not be overshadowed by the opinions of others. You are being lifted. Your son is being lifted. Your family is being lifted. And this is only the beginning. As we move into this final part, I want you to pause for a moment. Breathe, and recognize that something within you has already shifted. The heaviness you felt earlier is not the same now. The fear you carried is loosening. The confusion you had about what is happening around your son is turning into clarity, into understanding, into quiet strength. Because now, God is not just speaking to you. He is speaking through you, into your home, into your son's life, into the atmosphere surrounding your family. You are not watching this by coincidence. You are watching because God is equipping you, and this is what He wants you to understand. You are your son's covering. You are his shield in prayer. You are the one whose faith pulls him back when the world tries to pull him away. Your son may not say it out loud, but he feels your prayers. He feels your love, even when he is silent, even when he is distant, even when he seems confused, stubborn, or overwhelmed. A child can hide many things, but they cannot hide from the presence of a praying parent, and that presence is exactly what God is strengthening right now. There are negative voices that tried to influence him. They are fading. There are misunderstandings that tried to come between you. They are dissolving. There are spiritual pressures that tried to disconnect him from his path. They are weakening. Because when God steps into a situation, darkness loses its grip. When God speaks, confusion loses its power. When God covers a child, no plan formed in secret can overcome that protection. Right now, behind what you see with your eyes, God is rearranging the path beneath your son's feet. He is guiding him out of emotional traps, out of impulsive decisions, out of environments that were not healthy for him. Your son is walking into a season of clarity, and this clarity will bring him closer to you, not farther away. Where there was tension, there will be understanding. Where there was worry, there will be peace. Where there was distance, there will be closeness. Where there was confusion, there will be direction. You are going to witness changes in him, small ones at first, then bigger ones, until one day you look at him and realize God truly was protecting him all along. Because your son is not weak, he is not lost, he is not a victim of his circumstances. He is chosen, he is protected, he is being prepared. And you, yes, you, are a major part of that preparation. Your guidance matters, your love matters, your words matter, your presence matters, your prayers matter. And God is saying to you now, do not fear the plans of others. Do not fear the whispers. Do not fear the uncertainty. My hand is upon your son. My protection is upon your home. What was meant to separate will instead be used to strengthen. Your son is stepping into a better chapter, and you are stepping into it with him. This is a turning point, a moment of reassurance, a moment that reminds you God is ahead of every situation. God is in the middle of every battle. God is defending your family even when you cannot see it. Walk with confidence, speak with faith, pray with authority, stand with courage. Your son is protected, your family is covered, and nothing planned against your child will prevail. This is your confirmation. This is your peace. This is your sign that God has already gone before you.